Good morning, everybody. Welcome to the Blacksmith Podcast, and it's our Saturday morning edition. We got some people in the live. Why Invest is back. Thank you, good sir. Thank you for being here. Um, we are going to kick off. The second part of the series that we started about getting to investing. And the first thing we talked about was you had to know what was coming in and what was going out. So you needed your gross, which is your pay before taxes. You needed your net, which was your pay after taxes. Then you needed all your expenses broken down and added up, and you subtract that from your net. Why your net, not your gross? Because it sounds great. I make 100 grand a year. Yeah, but what do you receive? I only receive 68. Well, that's so then you're really earning 68,000. Stop throwing the six-figure number around because it's not about how much you make, it's about how much you actually rake in bars. It's not about even, it doesn't stop there. It's not about what you can earn, it's what you can keep. So if you earned $100,000 a year, wouldn't you want to get the entire $100,000? I know I would. Hand to the man. I most certainly would. Right. So that's what we're going to deal with. That was step one. Step two is now creating a budget. Now, last week I did do a live show, but I forgot to record sound. I checked it on OBS. We are good to go now. So no, don't worry, don't fear. The blacksmith is here, and we are gonna roll right into this thing. Now, before we get started with the budget, I think I gave it away already. Who's this guy? Oh shoot! Stop. Nope. There we go. Who's this guy right here? Who is this? Who is this? Jensen Huang. Who is this? Remember, we were supposed to be doing a like, share, subscribe. Yes, yes. Let's do that too. Yes, guess the person. This guy in the chat, boy, I tell you. Some people's siblings. I almost said kids. He is somebody's kid, but still. Um, yeah, who is this guy right here on the screen? Remember, I said I was gonna do weekly, and I've forgotten for 2 or 3 weeks. But we're back. Na 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 na. Fix your bandana tuna na 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 bars of Eminem. We were gonna do name that CEO. Remember? So this is a CEO, but who is this? It tells us NVIDIA. So we use the Google or we use the AI, whichever one. Reading your screen. Oh darn, where's it at? Oh shoot! Oh, darn it! And I had backed off of the Wikipedia page because it said that. All right, so Jensen Wang, he is. We've done this one before, but I just wanted to see if we were retaining these CEOs. I have plenty that I can pull out, but I wanted to see if we were retaining them. Jensen Wang is co-founder. I think he's the founder. I don't know, co-founder, whatever. But he is the founder of NVIDIA, and he is the CEO of NVIDIA. There is a co-founder of NVIDIA. We'll deal with co-founders as well. We'll do name that co-founder because they're also important. Like we talk about Vladimir Tenev a lot from the CEO of Robinhood, but there is a co-founder. He created that company with a buddy of his. They were both engineers, I believe. Anyway, so remember, NVIDIA last year became the first 5 trillion market cap company in history. NVIDIA creates GPUs, game processing units. They create chips. They buy semiconductors for their chips from TSM. This company is getting it done. They did a 10-to-1 share split June 9th last year. This company is making waves. This company is actually one of the ones I would say long-term invest in, and I'll tell you why. You want to invest in the best and brightest companies that are going to be around, that have a solid business structure, that have solid numbers, revenue models, even subscriber models, memberships, or whatever, to get people coming back. Everybody's buying their GPUs. Even companies buy their GPUs. Companies buy the chips that they make. So um, even China was buying their GPUs and chips last year, and that was a big brouhaha, even up to the president, right? So this company is going to be around, and they're changing the world. Those are the kind of companies you want to invest in. Now, let's move on to part 2 of the show. Uh-oh. Let me use it. Not applicable, but it's still funny to me. Um, all right, so my brother helped me out with this one. In fact, he done did this. All right, he done it. So this is a budget. Now if you want to know what you're looking at, we're gonna break this down to the molecule. Um, okay. Okay, cool. This is the one I was looking for. So he Googled the average income, the average monthly income, and I'm guessing we use net here. I hope this ain't gross. Um, but he Googled the average yearly income for a male, and this came up right here, 4,200, right? So 4,200. Let's get our calculator. Times 12, 50,400. All right. So that's what they're raking in. All right. So now that we have, somebody text me. Sorry. Now that we have our numbers that we're going to use for the averages, now we can build off of that. And now we go to the budgeting and expenses. So, okay, this isn't the same one. So we'll go back here. Can we move this? Yes. And then income scenarios. Yep, like that. Good to go. All right. So now we go here. So monthly expenses. Oh my God. All right. So what he did, don't worry about this. Don't worry about this side and over yet. D, E, and F doesn't exist, okay? In fact, let me see. So y'all don't get ahead of me, and it's my own fault for showing you. Let's not worry about that side yet. What we're going to do is we're going to worry about this. So this column, B, but we're going to look down in the expense category. So you'll be in and out of the stream. On vacation at the pool. Let's go. That's what I'm talking about. Listen, my man has earned his leisure. All right. Another good channel to watch. But yeah, don't worry about it, my man. Enjoy yourself. It'll be on YouTube. You know how we do over here. Okay. So why is my screen showing y'all like that? OBS doesn't look like that. It's showing me that it's showing y'all 4 different screens. Is it showing y'all little screens and side screens like that? Is that what y'all are really seeing? Dropping the kids off to, okay. All right. All right. Anyway, let's continue. All right. So we're in the expense category, right? All right. So now in the expense category, he Googled the average mortgage and insurance payment. He Googled the average car payment, average car insurance, average electric bill, all the way down, sewer, septic, trash, internet, cell phone, which, wow, if that's a single person, you are paying too much for a cell phone, my good sir. Now let's do, so gas and car. Oh, car, gas, got it. Gasoline. Gasolina, health insurance, eye care, dental, subscriptions. All right, look, we're just going to name them out at first. So you see the rest, right? All right, now, if you notice, go back up, monthly income, and this is net, what is deposited into your paycheck. So you're probably getting $2,100 deposited every 2 weeks. There's 52 weeks in a year, so 26 times you're getting that amount deposited into your bank accounts. Look all the way down here. Your expenses are 44, 59, 52. How is that possible? And don't think this can't happen. That means this person is over leveraged, right? This person is spending more than they're making. Now, if you think this isn't, you don't think that's a real thing, watch this. What I'm about to show you right now. And remember, I'm using Gemini and Chat GPT because I want to show y'all you can utilize this. I want y'all to be utilizing this. Are y'all still asking AI 3 questions every day? Don't just ask them Google-esque questions. What are you doing in a day that could help you out? So if you're thinking about starting an Amazon store, before you start that Amazon store, ask it, how can I source products with at least 10 to 15% margins? Right? That's what you want to ask it. Stuff like that. All right, hold on. For every $1, the average man in, I'm saying man, because that's what we went off of for the income. So if we just say the average American, it's going to skew the numbers. So the average man in America earns, he spends how much? Now, I know the answer on this one already because Wall Street Trapper talks about this. John Hope Bryant talks about this. Yes, my algorithm is probably a little different than yours, but it's not all that kind of stuff, man. I used to watch hood fights. I used to watch cars race each other. I can't do that anymore because that's just doom scrolling. Remember, what do you do with your 62? I haven't said that in a while. T-shirts on the way. But what do you do at your 62 is a real thing. All right, so based on the budget template, no, I don't want you to use that. Maybe so that's okay. So it's using it embedded itself into this template and it's using the template that we have up right now. So they're saying basically based on what we have up right now, for every dollar earned, this guy is spending $1.06. So now let's do this. Let's X this and let's ask Google. No, hold on. Let me copy and paste that question. Paste. Let's go. Based on for the average man in America. Okay. So this used to be higher. If this is actually the Bureau of Labor statistics, this was actually higher like 2 years ago. For every dollar somebody would earn, I think it was the average American though. So there was that. The average American was spending $1.25 for every dollar they earn. Right here it's saying in 24 and 25, the average man, for every dollar they're earning, they're spending 75 to 80 cents. Is that good, bad, or neutral? What do y'all think? Your debt to income ratio is 75%. Is that good, bad, or in what do y'all think? I'm broke. Yes. If you are, absolutely. Does anybody agree? I already said what I think, but chat, y'all are free to answer anything you want to. Jump on in, chime in. But if that was my debt to income ratio, I would be like, because that is a terrible debt to income ratio. Let's figure out, let's find out why. Look, you can just ask them very plainly what DTI, debt to income ratio, right, is seen as bad by lenders. that is not like the politically correct way to ask. But look at the answer it gave. A debt to income ratio above 43 to 50% is generally viewed as bad. So now, if you thought 75% was good, now you know it's bad, especially because we know cash is king, but credit is emperor, right? Because, I mean, the average standalone home in America is 416,000 to 520,000. Anybody got that amount of cash sitting around? I'm gonna promptly put my hand down. I was just meaning if you do, raise your hand because we need to have a chat about what you're doing. If you got that money, I'm like, yeah. All right. Oh my God. I was about to hit that one too, actually. Lord have mercy. I don't know why it's doing this, showing y'all the screen like this. Why is it like this? All right. So if you look right here, it says ideally you want to be underneath 36%. 36 to 42 is manageable, generally acceptable for most lenders, though some may start to look closer. 43 to 49 is high risk. High risk is 43 to 49. It's not even 50%. They're already calling you high risk. Folks, I'm telling you, I know I might not be the most intelligent host. I might not be the ghost with the most, Beetlejuice, if anybody got that reference. I may not be the most attractive guy or the funniest dude to listen to, but I'm telling you something you absolutely need to hear. If lenders consider you high risk at 43 to 49%, and you don't know that, you are running a very dangerous race because you will not be able to get lending if you need a car. You will not be able to get a credit card to build credit. Somebody's typing. I'm broke. I want 40% or higher. Wait, keep or find ways to write off more on taxes. Now that we'll deal with that in a second. You can go ahead and expound on this one. But I'm going to get to that in a second. Write off for taxes. I can't get there just right now because most W-2 employees can't write stuff off. And that means your interest rate will go up. Yes. So, people always say, let's deal with just that part right there. See, the chat is undefeated. Put this on me because I'm tired of that showing like that. People say less is more. Let me tell you something. Not when it comes to your, well, yeah, when it comes to your DTI, less is more, but not having less money left over for the month, that's not more. Because what'll happen is as your DTI climbs, your credit rating falls, and then less will have you paying more. The less your score, the pay you more. You get what I'm saying? Bars. But those weren't absolutely make sense bars. It's like mumble rap. Who gets it? I don't know. You just vibe with it, I guess. Hummer. House. You know. Anyway, so get what I'm saying. Less is not more when it comes to your credit score. Bars. When it comes to your APR, it will climb as your debt to rate, your income ratio climbs. But the problem is there's a point where they'll just cut you off and say, you've had 1% too many in that debt to income ratio. You at the bar drinking your protein shake and they're like, all right, Bob, you had one too many. Let's get on out of here. Like, and they move you out and they'll tell you, no, you're not getting any lending because your debt to income ratio is now too high. At high risk, they may still lend to you. Some people might, but a lot of institutions will not because you're high risk. Why would they not lend to you? Is it because you're black? Is it because you're brown? Is it because you're not 5'10" and dark of skin? Or is it because, what is it? Because these are all excuses that I've heard. Is it because, what's another one? They only want to lend to rich people. Well, that would make no sense because the bulk of the money they bring in is going to be from everyday working folks like us. That wouldn't make no sense. Um, what's another one? It's because I'm fat. I don't know. I don't know. Whatever excuse it is. No, it's because your debt to income ratio is too damn high. And you have to remember this is the game you're playing. These are the rules. If no one ever cracked open the real game of life for you and showed you some financial rules in the game, who's ever played the game of life? Raise your hand in the chat, right? Raise your hand. I have.
Very nice words, but happens to be wrong. Wrong.
I just wanted to hear what that sounded like. All right, so look, I've played the game of life. And the first thing you do when you open a new board game, even a new card game, is you look at the what? You look at the rules, right? But in this game of life that we're playing. That didn't always happen in every aspect of life for us. Mama and daddy tried their best, right? They opened up rules of character, rules of conduct, right? So don't lie, cheat, steal, conduct yourself in the grocery store in an acceptable manner. If you're a kid crying, snotting, falling on the floor, you're gonna get that ear pulled. You're gonna be on your tippy toes walking through the store and wait till you get home. You hear that? The lips move like a scrunchie. Wait till you get home. It's over. It's over. I've heard it a couple of times, and yeah. So the parents crack open the rules to the book of life for the kids because they love them, right? And they're little thems, and they're gonna be them when they're gone, and so they want them to know the rules to this game, right? So they try to teach them about money, but they can only teach what they have learned. That's why parents, it's important for you to learn more, especially if you got young kids. Now, if your kids are already grown, you can still learn, but sometimes it's too late to teach them. They're already with this 75 to 80% leveraged debt to income ratio. You can still try, but remember, can't teach your old dog new tricks. But even if you have young adult children, still try. If you have 40-year-old children, still try, right? But sometimes you gotta sweeten it for them to want to take the medicine, right? No one wants to take nasty medicine. That was the worst as a kid. Ugh. Anyway, what was I talking about? I'm getting old. I've got about 4 months left of my not so dirty 30s. I'm getting old. All right, so we were talking about debt to income ratio. So let's get off of this. Y'all understand this. For every dollar somebody earns, or the average guy is spending 75 to 80 cents, so they're about 75 to 80% over leverage. Now let's get back to the budget. There's a lot to say about all these topics, folks. Oh, you know what I was doing? I was going through the chat and I was expounding off of what you said. The interest rate will go up. Yes. So the lower your credit score, the higher interest they're going to charge you on their money because they want their money back. And if you're a high risk person, they're going to charge you more money on what you owe, on what you borrow, because you might not pay it back. So they're going to make their money on the front end. Y'all understand that's how it works, right? Get this off screen. Put the camera on me. Hodge twins. You understand that's how it works, right? We're cracking open some more rules in the game of life financial section. The lower your credit score is, the lower your trustworthiness, the lower your credit worthiness, the more muddy your reputation is financially, right? The more interest they're going to charge you because they can't trust you with what they gave you. This is so remember when we used to live in villages or towns, right? The town blacksmith, he needed to buy metals from the guy who was going out into the mines and doing the dirty work. He needed to buy ore from that guy, right? That guy needed his wheelbarrow fixed from the blacksmith. And to fix his stuff, he needed coal from somebody else. But the blacksmith, if he needs bread, he buys from the baker. Now let's use the blacksmith and the baker. The blacksmith needs bread to feed his family, right? He's running a little low this month for whatever reason. So he asks the baker, can you loan me or no, he let's say he needs more gold or more money to buy more ore, right? He just doesn't have it. So he goes to the baker and say, "Hey, can you lend me 10 gold pieces?" Now let's say 10 gold pieces is like $1,000 in today's money, right? So he's loaning him $1,000, but we're going to use 10 gold pieces because it's back then. And the baker says, "Let me think about it." So he says, "Okay." He goes back to his forge and he keeps working. And then the baker goes to the fisher because the fisherman they know everybody in the town. And the baker goes, "Hey, the blacksmith asked me for 10 gold pieces. I like Tom and all, but what do you think about him?" And the fisher's like, "You know what? He's a real solid guy. You know, two years ago, he borrowed 2 gold pieces from me, and he told me give him 2 months to pay it back. He paid it back in 3 weeks because he had a big haul come in, and he actually gave me 3 coins back. And I wouldn't take it, but he sat it down on my kitchen table and walked out. That guy pays his debts back. You know what that baker is going to do? Maybe he might ask someone else if he has another close friend, maybe the mason, maybe the miller, the tree miller, right? He mills the wood or cuts it up to usable pieces, right? He may ask them, or that might be good enough, depending on how well their relationship is going, right? That was your reputation in the town. You wouldn't want to act crazy. You wouldn't want to borrow stuff and not pay it back. You will mess over your entire family. Now the baker, off the fisher's advice, says, "Here's 10, man. You know what? Here's 11. You can pay me back in 6 months if you need it." And the blacksmith's like, "Whoa, I don't need 6 months. Give me 3 months." "No, I'm going to give you 6. I'm going to give you 6. If you pay it back in 3, that's fine, man. You know, you always been a good guy in my book. I know you must have some stuff going on right now. Here's 11. You get 6 months. Cool." He pays him back in 3 months, like he said, right? Pays back the 11. His credit score or his reputation in the town goes through the roof. Conversely, same scenario, baker goes to fisherman, and fisherman's like, "Oh, shoot. Look, I'm not going to tell you what to do, but he already owes me 2 gold pieces from 2 years ago. And every time I saw him, he was ducking me. He don't even come to the store. He sends his wife or he sends his son to my shop to get fish. He doesn't show up anymore." You know what that guy's going to do? He's going to come back and say, "You're not getting it." Now, why did I go around the world in 80 days to show you an illustration? Well, Jesus taught in parables. I am Christ-like. I am a Christian. At least I try to be. That illustration just showed you how it really works in the real world. One lender talks to the next lender. You know how they do that? They have your credit report. They pull that, and if they pull Experian, Equifax, or TransUnion, they can see what other lenders said about your credit worthiness or your reputation in the town, right? That's how this whole thing works. Now let's move on. All right, so let's just get to the meat and potatoes. So this guy right here is bringing home $4,200, but he's spending $4,400. Now again, the average was looked up of all these things. So that means that if you're only bringing in $4,200, you may think this is a good amount of money to bring in, $50,000 a year. And yeah, I would say it sounds great, but remember there's inflation. And if you look up the average of these things, then that might not be a good look if you're at $50,000 a year. Maybe, yeah, let me see what the next column is. I'm gonna get a little sneak peek really quickly. Yeah, we can do that. We can do that because we're already into it. All right. So now you see the next column over, the percentage of average income and net remaining. So what he did, this one did not compute, good sir. Was this one? I think this one was from here. Yeah, this one was for here. I think these are a column too low. I think they've been somebody hit enter and they're too low. Why? Because and this one's repeated. This one right here is supposed to be up here. But I don't want to mess with the formula. Just understand this isn't a trick of the mind. Put 47% up here. Why? Because he brings home 4,200. 50% of this would be 2,100. Thus, 1979. It has to be this number. It's 47.1% of his net income. So now, what is the rule for housing? Maybe y'all don't know. Housing is supposed to cost you no more than a third of your income. They typically say 30%. Beat that. I don't use home row keys. No, that's not a good thing. I should have. And I said in the fourth grade, I'm not going to do this. I'm going to be stubborn. I'm going to peck away at the keyboard. I was getting 40 words per minute. And now other people beat me typing 2,000 words per minute. And it's my own fault. All right. So 30% rule. What is the 30% rule? The 30% rule right here. Your housing costs should not exceed 30% of your pre-tax earnings. So that's even worse. It's saying go off of your gross. Don't even go off of your net 30%, right? And this comes from the U.S. Department of Housing and Urban Development, HUD. So did you have something to say? You wanted to, you unmic? You wanted to add something to it? Okay, maybe it's because he just came back. So 30% is all you should be spending on housing. If you are spending more than that, then you're doing it wrong. Now, wouldn't this be great if a 14-year-old already knew before they started earning money all these rules? If an 18-year-old knew, because I didn't get my first job until I graduated high school 2 months after. So I graduated in June, got my job in August. Wouldn't it have been great if I'd have known all this? Because a lot of times we'll say, I can afford it, or can I afford it? No, you can't. Not you could run the math off of what you earn, you know? So that would be great to tell them all these rules. So this guy is paying 47% of what he is bringing in every month to where he lives. That's already a red flag. I love these new t-shirts. Sanchez, you get your t-shirt? I never asked. Okay, so now he's almost at 50%. He's got 52.9% of his net remaining. Now, that's bad, but let's check out the rest. So his car payment is $510. Now, if you're doing the math, let me see. Can you guys see this calculator on the screen? No, you can't. So that's why I don't open that when I use this one. All right. So he's already at, let's delete this. Come on. He's at 1979. We're not going to do the cents. Now he's adding, what is it, 510? I'm just kidding. So he's at 2489. So now he's even more over leveraged. So look, folks, you already see where this is going. It's still doing that multi-screen thing. You already see where this is going. He's at $2,400 right here. So now you have to add the car insurance. Now he has utilities. This is all the way back. So what are some suggestions for what this guy can do? Because he won't be able to sustain this. If he has a credit card, what he's going to do is he's going to end up having to swipe his credit card to pay for, and I'll tell you exactly what's going to happen. He's going to have all this stuff coming out of his checking account. So what he's going to do is use his credit card for groceries, he's going to, and he already has credit card loans right here. So he's already paying about 200 a month for credit cards. The fact that he has life insurance is actually phenomenal. However, he's going to use his credit card to swipe these groceries. He's going to use his credit card for gas for the car. That's what he's going to do. And we didn't even add any entertainment. Well, yeah, we did. We just have subscriptions, but this doesn't cover movies. This doesn't cover dates. If he's doing that, which, look, player, if she ain't willing to have a picnic in the park or go on a coffee date or go on hikes, you don't have it. I'm going to tell you that right now. And it's not to say women aren't out there that will do that. They will, but you come on, you need to come correct. But if you find one that's willing to do that and work with your situation, hey, she's probably gold. I don't give out dating advice. I just brought that up. All right, so look, because remember, you're more than your paycheck. All right, so listen, subscriptions, you need to cut this down. I'm not saying cut it out. There's Amazon, Netflix, Disney Plus, Crunchyroll. First of all, which one, figure it out, is more important to you. Now, I will say this, Disney comes with Hulu, right? Crunchyroll, fine. Look, cut this one right here. I don't know how much this is, cut it. There are enough anime websites out there where you can watch anime without Crunchyroll. Disney Plus and Hulu, figure out for these other three, if you already pay for Amazon Prime, then keep that one. You pay no extra. These other two, if this does not come with the T-Mobile, if T-Mobile's not paying for this one or your phone bill not paying for this one already, check out some credit cards. Some of them, like I think American Express, Amex Platinum, will pay for a Netflix subscription. If nothing's paying for these, get rid of them. Or if you must, figure out which one you watch the most stuff on, and that's the one you need to get rid of. What do you do with your 62? You're using them all to watch TV. I'm just kidding. But figure out which one you watch the most on and get rid of the other ones. So that's what we did last year. I did this for real. My wife cut Disney Plus and Hulu. She asked me, and I said, we don't really watch it. Sometimes the kids watch Marvel stuff and some of those Disney shows, but heavily we're on Netflix. 80, 70, 80%. Cut Disney Plus, cut down on stuff. Never had Crunchyroll. But my suggestion, if you have Amazon Prime, you're already paying for that. Cut the other three, find anime sites for this one, and don't even think about these again. You already pay for a subscription. Just use that. Learn to like the shows that's on there. Find things that you like. I guarantee you can, and keep it rolling, because this is a twofer, right? Now, if you have T-Mobile and they're already paying for Netflix, that's a twofer. Don't have any of the rest of these. If you have Amazon Prime already, you're already paying for it. Now you have two. Other than that, and don't try and go get it just because I said that. Have one of these and like them. That's it. The other thing, dental, eye care, don't cut down on your health insurance. That would be ridiculous. This gas, what do you drive, right? If it's a V8, you better use your credit card, swipe you an electric bike that will get you what you need to get to and from work every day. I would say get 40 to 100 miles if you can on it. It may be a little costly up front, but that's what you take to work. When it's raining, when it's super cold, if it's snow and ice on the road, take your car. You shouldn't be driving no V8 only earning $50,000 a year anyway. I'm telling you. I'm not suggesting. I'm telling you. Depending on how far away from home you work, let's say you only work 5 miles from home. Get you an electric bike. Take that to and from work. Stop trying to floss and boss because you ain't got it. You are over leveraged, right? So that's what you do. You take that to and from work. Don't even get an expensive one. Just get to and from work. If you live that close to work, take you an electric bike if it's good weather. If it's not, Put a jacket on. Deal with it. You don't have the money to not. You're spending too much. And you can park that car and drive it once or twice a week. And guess what? You'll cut down this gas bill. It sounds extreme, but this is what you have to do. I did this to get out of debt. Your phone bill, one person paying $120. You need to look up another company, or you need to look up what comes with your phone bill and why you're paying so much. They sometimes will do a creep, that income creep, or that auto pay creep. Storage companies do it. Your first month will be $1, second month will be $30, third month will be $32, and you have it on auto pay, so you're not paying attention to it. Next thing you know, you're paying $300 a month for a storage unit, and you never even saw it coming because you don't look at your bills every month because you have everything on auto pay. Act like you don't have it on auto pay and look at every single bill. Here's something. Use this tool, this flat screen TV that's capable of making phone calls, that's really a supercomputer. Put in that computer in your calendar every month, recurring, when things come out. And that'll make you go look at it. And then you come to this budget sheet, you tap it in for the next month, and that's how much you paid. This should be a month-to-month thing that you're using. But basically, you're over leveraged and you need to cut things, right? I could have said that right at the beginning and said no more, but we're learning here, right? Chad, if you have something to add, go ahead and mic up. We can chime in on this one today. Because this is a conversation, and if you don't agree, go ahead and say it. If you do agree, you can say that too. All right, so now we know what you have to do. You're over leveraged. Now let's just pull back the whole onion. Let's go halfsies on the screen. Let's do this. Let's go half. Oh, it's because I manually did it. Hold on. I think it was right about there. All right. So this guy's over leveraged. He's over leveraged 6%. Now, what did I ask my brother to do? I asked him to now build one where you're making 20% less than that. So less than the average. So now you're only earning $3,360 a month. I think that's my kids out there. I saw something flying. So now let's just get to the meat and potatoes. You are $1,100 under budget. Even worse. So what does this mean? Does this not happen, or does this happen? This does happen. This happens all the time. You know why? Because this guy's trying to keep up with this guy. And this guy doesn't earn the money that this guy earns. But this guy already doesn't earn enough for the lifestyle he has because he is underwater $260 a month. But this guy doesn't know that this guy is not even treading water. He doesn't know that. So he tries to keep up with him, and then he is even worse than him. Y'all get enough he, hims? So now let's look at 20% over. 20% over. So this person is pulling in $5,000 a month. So this would be just over $60,000 a year. And look, he is barely making it with $580, almost $600 remaining. He's barely making it. You know why I say that? Because he has life insurance. There's some things that I see that people do that's missing from here, right? What about haircuts? That's not on here, right? He's going to need a haircut. What about going to the movies? If he does any nightlife, what if he drinks alcohol? That should not be in the grocery bill. That should be separate. What if he smokes cigarettes? First of all, I don't think you should do either one of these, but I'm not the police. I've never done either one of those, but I'm not holier than thou. I'm just saying, look at what you're earning. You can't even afford it, right? But drink responsibly if you drink. There is no smoke responsibly. I'm not going to say that. But get what I'm saying? There's some stuff not on here, right? And that is done on purpose because now you can see with $580, what does the average smoker pay for cigarettes every month? Not even going to look it up. What about drinking habits? Alcohol, liquor, bars, all that stuff, clubs, right? That should be in a different category. You don't have money to do that. $580 a month, you don't have it. The other part, and the heartbreaking part that breaks me corazón, is you don't have money to invest. You have to save all of that, because what if you blow a tire or whatever? You've invested your money in the stock market. You know what you're going to do? You're going to go to the stock market to use it as a savings account and pull the money out. And that's not how investing works. That money is supposed to be there for the long haul. So if you're doing that, you're even investing wrong. You don't, in my opinion, have enough money to invest. Now, because this doesn't even have an IRA, there's no 401k in here. Do y'all see what I'm saying? There's no, that you don't have any money to invest. Now watch this. Somebody that's earning $70K a year with the same budget as this guy, they are $1,300 over. That's better. Still not the best, but it's better. And it's kind of like, this could sound like overkill, but what if they do smoke? What if they do drink? What if they do have nightlife? What if they drive their car more in a month because they're doing these things? What if they get a girlfriend and now they're driving back and forth to see her? That gas bill goes up, the fast food or restaurant goes up, all of that kind of stuff. And now that 1,300 might become 200. See? And they're still not investing. There's no 401k in here. So if we added a 401k to this person, you could do 10%. That'd be $583 a month of their net, right? They still have $800 left over, $700 left over if they had a 401k. And now they need to save a good nest egg, about 6 months worth. And now you start investing, right? So this person is good, but this person is the best. Don't do the lifestyle creep. 60, 70,000, they're showing you that just because I earn more does not mean I'm going to spend more. I have the same budget and expenses as the guy earning $50,000. So I'm much better off. Now, this guy has $2,200 left over. Now, let's say he doesn't smoke, doesn't drink, no nightlife, no girlfriend or nothing like that. This guy could do 10% in a 401k, and that'd be that would be a couple of sixes in that IRA every month. Let's say his company matches 5%. He's putting away 15% every month. He's good there. And if he did that, he would still have, what is that? $1,600 left over, 15 and change. He's still sitting pretty. Now you can take $500, put it in the stock market every single month. That's $6,000 a year, and you still have $1,000 left every month saved. This guy is living great, right? But now this guy can invest. But unless your budget looks like this, these last two, I would say, you should not be investing. Undo that. I did something I didn't mean to. Undo that. You should not be investing in the stock market because you're living on the edge of the razor. You should not be investing. First things first, get your gross, get your net on paper. Know what you're bringing in pre-tax, know what you're bringing in post-tax, what gets deposited, right? Know what allotments come. Look at your pay stub. I know they don't have those anymore, but whatever your pay thing looks like, whatever is your receipt for the work you did, leave an earning statement is what the military calls it, your LES. But whatever your pay stub looks like, look at what is coming out of there, right? Make sure you're getting the right amount of pay. Make sure the allotments that are coming out for your healthcare and stuff is the right amount. And then put that stuff on paper every single month. Now you multiply gross and net by 12. That's what you earn before taxes. That's what you earn after taxes. The next thing is get all your expenses down on an expense sheet. And now you'll know what goes out every month. So thus you'll know what goes out every year. And now you build it all into a budget. If anybody wants this budget shell, my brother's turning it into a shell where you can just plug your stuff in. just message me. You can put it in Discord. Um, I'll probably build another one. You know what? Let me just do it right here in front of y'all. Let's call it budget. And if anybody has any um, tips or pointers for anybody for budgets, let's put it there. And if you want the budget, just put it in there. All right, what do we got in the chat? Okay, he's got a budget right here. Let's read the rest of your comments, sir. Any more than 30% usage of credit lowers your score. Now, he's talking about revolving credit. He's talking about credit cards or lines of credit. Anytime somebody is giving you a line of credit and you go 30% or more, they look at that as negative, and you'll see a credit score drop 2 points, 3 points, 5 points, because they start looking at you like, why are you using so much of it and not paying it off? So if you're going to use, let's say you want to buy a couch set and you use it and it's $3,000 and you have a 10 grand credit card, I get it, but pay $50 on it. So now you're only $2,950. And that's only 29.5%. So play the game smart. Let's say you don't have much money to put on it. And let's say the bill's not due yet, but you should know when the bill is due. You should also know what day they report to the credit agencies. You see how much you can learn talking about a budget? You should know what day they report to the credit bureaus. You should know what bureau they report to before you even open that card. And that should be attached to your knowledge of that American Express card you have. What bureau do they use, right? And so if you know what day, let's say you can put $25 on it before that day without breaking the bank. Well, now you're only $29.75. That's not 30%, right? So the more you know, the better you can play the game. But he's absolutely right. Look, y'all are getting the knowledge today. And even if you're at a 725 credit score, if you're past 53%, you won't get a loan. That is correct. So I'm going to tell you right now, your credit history could have been great. Remember, 35, 30, 15, 10, 10. Those are the things that make up a credit score. So let's see. I was going to put components, but y'all get it. 35, 30, 15, 10, 10. There it is. Payment history. I said history. That's why it prompted me to do this. So 35% of your credit score is your payment history. Let's say your payment history is pristine. And you know what they look at? They only look at 24 months on your credit report. You know that if you pull your credit report. If you don't know how to get your credit report and you don't want to pay any extra money for it, I use Experian, but it's $12.95 a month. For all three bureaus. If you want your credit report, you never looked at it, here's a totally free way of getting it. It's annualcreditreport.com. Annualcreditreport.com. You can pull all three of your credit reports today and compare them. You can print them out, you can download them, whatever. You can compare them and see which lenders are reporting to which credit bureau. And you can also pay a little extra. I think it's Credit Karma or somebody they may partner with, and you can get the scores. But let's say you did that and you got all three scores and you got all three credit reports. Now remember, annualcreditreport.com is free. They will give you one free credit report every calendar year, day to day now. So if you pull it February 7th of 26, you can't pull it until February 7th of 27. All right. So you can look at it. It'll show you all your aliases, any names you go by, because it may have the wrong name. And then guess what? Somebody else's information is on yours. Let's say you're a junior or you're a third and it has your dad's information. That's very possible, right? It says you own a home in Arkansas. You ain't never even been to Arkansas. You need to dispute that, right? That's not good, because if they default on that house, that's on your credit report. So think about it that way too. So pull your credit report. You can figure out which bureau, which of your lenders are reporting to what bureau, and your scores will be different because of that. So your score might be a 520 with Experian, but because they don't have the two negative accounts you have on TransUnion, maybe you're at a 700, right? And maybe Equifax has one of them, so you're at a 640. See, so they can be different. But some lenders will use all three, some lenders use two. So know that. So your credit history can be pristine, but because of your debt to income ratio, they won't lend you anything else. So let's 100 that one. You're exactly right. Let's pull this document he's got for us here. All right. Let's go halfsies. Okay, it's showing y'all what I want y'all to see. Okay, so yeah. Oh, is this a template? Oh, this is the military template. Yeah, I've seen this one before. And this one is like 9 pages deep. So that's just something else he threw in there for us. But let's get back to this budget. Chat, I don't know. Do y'all have anything else to add? Because I think that's going to do it for this one. Basically, the moral of the story is before you can get to investing, knowing what's coming in, what goes out, put it on paper like this. And you can even throw percentages in there if you want to be fancy with it, but at least know if you have a surplus of money at the end of the month or you have or you're negative, right? If you're negative, hit us up, the Blacksmith Podcast at gmail.com. If you want a one-on-one. Now, I'm not licensed, but I can give you some advice. It's professional. I do know what I'm doing, but I'm not licensed. Or you can join the Blacksmith Podcast server. Just go on to Discord and search the Blacksmith Podcast. It will come up. That's how you can get in touch with me or anybody else in the chat and ask a question. And anybody would be welcome, more than welcome, or more than glad to help you out. But just remember, this doesn't have everything in it. So just imagine if nightlife was in there, if drinking was in there, if movies was in there, if all this other stuff, these two people at the top would be even more over leveraged. And most people in America right now, more than 50% are actually living like that. They are negative. That's why credit card debt is so out of control. If you are like them and don't want to be, hit me up. If you are just starting your race and you are not in debt yet, still hit me up. Join this server. We have a ton of people that be willing to help and glad to welcome you into the fold. I don't just complain about stuff. We're building the community we want to see over here, okay? So that is all the show I got for you. Chat, do y'all have anything else to add? If not, we're going to make this forge go cold this week. Because it's Saturday and I want to go ride my motorcycle. Hit that hot note. Yeah, I got a motorcycle now. I think I showed y'all the helmet the other day. I left it downstairs now. So I'm going to start commuting on that to San Diego. Never hit that high note again. Darn. I'm not going to quit my day job. You know, I don't sing on the air when I'm talking to pilots and I'm saying, Delta 8952, turn left heading 250, climb and maintain flight level 300. See, I haven't controlled in a while either. Maybe almost 2 years. Oh, Lord, I'm losing it. Anyway, the forge is going cold, folks. We sing rather well. Who? Not you. First of all, sucker, you sound like nails on the chalkboard. Who are you trying to fool? Let me end this video before we get crazy. Forge going cold, folks. Have a good week. And I love you. And I will see you back here next Saturday. All right, we're going to cut off his foolishness because, yeah, that's how it's going to be. All right, folks. Have a good week.